But the breaking news is about the Indian Army uncovering Pakistan's Bleed India plan. Pakistan-trained terrorists just desperate to infiltrate before winter sets in, with reports suggesting the concentration of large number of terrorists in launch pads. In fact, the Indian Army has sent out a stern warning to Pakistan Army to restrain these terrorists operating from its soil. Let me go straight across now to India Today, Shiv Arur. And Shiv, that's always, the plan of Pakistan, that final push, these large number of terrorists just waiting to infiltrate. What's going to be the Indian Army's plan this time around?
This statement, Avantika, comes on the back of a major operation that took place at the line of control yesterday in the Sundarbani sector, where 3 Indian soldiers were killed by a border action team of the Pakistan Army that included a few terrorists. The Indian Army managed to kill 2 of those terrorists. Several others managed to escape back across the line of control. Unfortunately, it was an ambush attack in which 3 Jawans in that sector were killed as well. The Army has put out a statement saying it has conveyed to Pakistan, to come and collect the bodies of these so-called hostile Pakistan nationals. Those are the words used by the Indian Army. But it is the last part of the statement that you've just put out, Avantika, which is the operative part. This is basically the Indian Army's biggest warning to Pakistan and the largest piece of information that's been put out by the Army since the surgical strikes of 2016 September, where they've said there is a large concentration of terrorists perceived in the launch pads across the line of control. They haven't specified which sectors, but we're assuming that there are 2 or 3 sectors. I'm not going to take those names where these terrorists are apparently concentrated. And there is a desperate effort at this time to try and push in as many terrorists as possible across the line of control through these calibrated infiltrations by border action teams, so that they can conduct attacks in several parts of Jammu and Kashmir. Because once the winter sets in, as you know, it becomes very, very much more difficult to actually cross over. So the desperate levels to increase the numbers of infiltrations is happening as we speak, and that's what the Army is warning about, Avantika.
Absolutely. Let me also get in Ashraf Wani for more on this. Ashraf, obviously vigil will be extremely tight. Tell us a little bit more about the information that you have on the number of terrorists who perhaps is just waiting for orders and infiltrate into India. What is it that you're hearing from your sources and the security officials?
Avantika, basically 2 days back when we had an exclusive chat with the General Officer commanding here in the Chinar Corps, Lieutenant General A.K. But he clearly said that as per their information, 250 to 275 militants from different organizations are waiting across the LOC on different launching pads. In fact, he said on the daily basis they are filing 3 to 4 infiltration attempts. But now, after the recent developments in the Kashmir Valley, particularly yesterday, what we have exclusive, and probably we will brief to our viewers in the evening editions, that recently in the Pakistani occupied Kashmir there was a conference by the Jaish-e-Mohammed, which is being considered and mostly used by the Pakistani army for these kind of tactics, including the BAT operations. They had the which is the exclusive information with the India Today. They had a conference in Kotli in Pakistani occupied Kashmir on Friday, where 100 Fidayeen militants have taken oath in front of the Maulana Asghar, who is the younger brother of Maulana Masood Azhar, who is the chief commander of the Jaish-e-Mohammed. Right. In his presence, this oath ceremony was taken by the 100 number of Jaish Fidayeen attackers who will be carrying the suicide attacks on the security installations, including the army installations on the line of control, as well as they will try to go inside to the Jammu and Kashmir Valley. What we are getting the informations from the sources in the Pakistani occupied Kashmir, those 100 Fidayeen attackers had been geared up by the intelligence agencies as well as by the Jaish-e-Mohammed of Pakistan to infiltrate into Jammu and Kashmir.
Shiv, will the BSF or the Army adopt a different kind of strategy to check infiltrators, especially with the new Prime Minister in Pakistan and with news of him working also at the behest of the Pakistan Army? Will there be a different approach this time around?
highly doubt it. It's going to be much more of the same. There has been an unending cycle of retributive action on the line of control since 2016, Avantika, where we've seen the Indian forces crossed the border into Pakistan-occupied Kashmir a number of times since the surgical strikes. Those have been much more hush-hush, and there has been less publicity about those attacks. But there have been a string of revenge attacks. In this particular statement itself, you can see the Indian Army saying that a lot of restraint has been shown. The DGMOs have spoken. The hotlines have been, activated. Warning Pakistan to keep a control on the terrorists on its soil. But I have a feeling that things could actually, escalate even further from here. We're going to see more activity on the line of control. Definitely going to see more infiltration attempts. And I have a feeling that
right,
there are
Chief,
going to be
if I may
several
just interrupt you here, because we have Kuldeep Koda, who's the former DGP of Jammu and Kashmir, joining us on the broadcast. Sir, thank you so much. We've just been talking about, Pakistan's desperate attempts to infiltrate as many terrorists into India before winter sets in. If you could just throw some light on the strategy, that the Indian forces will adopt, especially in these times, just before, winter sets in.
Well, it has been a consistent policy of Pakistan to send in as many infiltrators as possible before the onset of winter and before the passes get closed because of snowfall during winter.
Yes.
So this is, and with the change in regime in Pakistan, this effort is only going to increase in the coming month or so. And we have to be extremely careful both on the borders and in the hinterland also.
Absolutely.
To neutralize the increased activity which is taking place in the valley right now. So obviously the Home Minister is coming to Srinagar tomorrow. I am sure that he will take care of these concerns and have necessary measures taken to have a very clear-cut response to Pakistan because of the increased activities both inside the valley and also across the border, where the activity is apparently large as per the reports emanating from there.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you so much for joining us and speaking to India today. Shiv and Ashraf, thank you both as well.